Hey everyone, welcome to Onyx Training Table. Today I want to debrief this video that I came across looking for another incident that I'm going to debrief later on. And I just want to talk about this one. It was from 2019. It's a shooting out of Fresno, California. And just set it up real quick. Um, it was a teenager suspected of being involved in a homicide apparently the day before. Now they've located this kid in a car. Somehow they're following him. The street crimes unit or something was following him, and they're going to try to arrest him and take him into custody. And I want to talk about this as far as a few different aspects of training. Okay, um, what we train and the tactics we use, and how we may want to change some of those tactics. You'll see in the beginning when they go to take him into custody and he takes off running. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about this when they actually shoot him and some of the considerations there. So I'm going to run the video just a little bit, and then we'll talk about it as we go. All right.
Never stood up again after a gunshot hit him in the back of the head. Police had tried to detain the 16-year-old a few minutes earlier in a shopping center parking lot near Fresno.
Okay, so here it is. They're bringing him back, high risk stop. Okay, we've done it a million times. They're bringing him back. You'll see they're having him come back, walking backwards. The typical thing, I see this all the time in training. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. All right, we'll talk about that in just a second. And then, but watch what happens. Okay, so what does he do? Get down on your knees, get down on your knees, and the kid takes off running. I understand why we do that. High risk stop, we walk people backwards so they can't see us. We tell them get down on their knees. Why do we do that? To exercise a higher level of control. I get that. But why do we have them do that in the first place? To gauge their compliance. Are they going to be compliant with us? Talked about this before. If they're compliant with us, what's the best way to keep them from doing something stupid? Again, he's a teenager. What's the chance he's going to do something stupid? It's pretty high, right? So we have to be planning for him. We have to be thinking for him. We can't just be playing, reaction, whatever. We can be preemptive on this. And so if we're saying, walk backwards to the sound of my voice, what's more difficult for somebody to do? Walk forward or walk backwards? And if he's walking backwards, what is he looking at? He's not looking at police officers. He's looking at freedom. Okay, so we should think about that. If the person is compliant enough to be walking towards us, why can't we just have them walk facing us, right? I get it. Well, he could pull a gun on us. Yeah, he could. But what are you ready to do? Shoot him if he pulls a gun on you. So, if we have them walking towards us, they aren't seeing that freedom, right? Kneel down. Why do we need to have him kneel down? He's walked back to us. His arms are there. Just get him in custody. Get cuffs on him. He's less likely to do something stupid when he's handcuffed. But he's going, now I got to kneel down. Now I got to do this and do. Okay, this is the last chance. I'm out. And he takes off running. Okay, so let's think about this. Why do we do these things? We do them just because we're taught to do them. But we aren't thinking about what their purpose is. And maybe the purpose of walking him backwards doesn't fit in this situation. Yeah, I know. I get it. He's wanted for a murder. Okay, great. That's fine. But is what we're doing, are our tactics making the situation better or making the situation worse? Okay, that's something we need to be thinking about. So he takes off running.
Police body camera footage shows Murrieta running away and an officer following. You can't see the chase end on this video, but you can hear it. Murrieta had run to a daycare. Surveillance video shows him jumping a fence and running again. He made it about 8 steps before Officer Ray Vilavasso fired the deadly shot.
Right here.
Officers thought the teen might be involved in a homicide the day before. Vilavasso reported Murrieta looked at him and reached for his waistband, so he feared for his life.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second because I'm gonna let you listen to what this person says. I don't even know. This person makes commentary here. He's obviously some subject matter expert. I don't know, but I absolutely agree with him. Here's the thing. This is the officer who shoots, right? This is the one who fires. Fires one round, shoots him in the head. Moving target, right? Now, I'm not going to say it's a good shot because they say that at this time. And I don't think that's a good thing to do on your body cam video to when he shoots him to say good shot, which they do. Okay. I think that's wrong. And if you see some of the comments associated with this video, the public doesn't understand why they would say good shot. Okay. And that's something we need to consider. We work for the public. We should be considerate of their thoughts as well. Not only the people who like us, but all the public. All right. So he shoots him here. Now let's talk about firearms, right? Basic firearms rules. What's number 4? Be certain of your target and beyond. Where is he shooting? He's shooting at a daycare. This is a daycare that is the video here is a surveillance camera of the daycares. So the backdrop for this kid is the daycare. All right. And people can say, well, he hit him. Yeah, he did. But let's talk about police hit percentages. What's it, 20%? We're at 20% hit rate. So 1 in 5 rounds are going to hit the target. So he shot 1 round and hit him. That's about the only positive I can give you in this one is that he had good discipline, uh, to shoot 1 round and assess. Okay, that's about the only good on this. This he says that he looked at him and then reached for his waistband. What's the body position of this kid? And I get it. We all want to say, well, but he could pull a gun. Yes, he could. And then here's the problem is that we are really allowing police officers to shoot at whatever they believe to be a threat, not perceive, because perception is you have to observe something. They're believing there's a threat. He believed based on the fact that this kid they thought he was involved in a murder the day before, so that he is now carrying a weapon, armed and dangerous. Okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm saying you have to have a credible, substantial threat, right? And what is this kid's body position? It's running away. He looked to see if anybody's jumping the fence behind him. Come on. Why is he going to his waistband? Because his pants are baggy and they're falling down. And he's pulling them back up. He is in a dead sprint. He's not trying to shoot anybody. He's not trying to engage police officers. Yeah, you can conjecture that he might, that it's possible. It is absolutely possible, but it's possible he's got some sort of a nuclear device on him too that he could detonate. That's possible. But what's the probability and what's the potential of that? And this is where I think we need to get back to is that we are not dealing in the potential, what's likely. We're saying what's possible. Well, anything's possible. And we're allowing that. And so to me, what's happening is that's degrading our proficiency, that's degrading our performance, that's degrading our decision-making capabilities and skills and doing all that. So now we're doing this, we're shooting a kid like this, and it's being called justified because the officer perceived the threat. No, the officer didn't perceive a threat. The officer believed in a threat, right? He believed in a threat. He didn't perceive anything. All he perceived was a kid looking at him and going for his pants. He didn't pull a weapon. He didn't produce a weapon. He didn't have a weapon. And that's where I think we need to change our thinking is we need to stop trying to justify, well, he could have had a weapon. Yes, he could have. And again, he could have had a nuclear device and they would all been dead. But the reality of it is that we are not waiting to use lethal force in the situation where it is truly warranted. And so now we're spending more time trying to rationalize, justify, and excuse our actions than we are just showing it up. I mean, let's think about the video just recently from Columbus, Ohio, with Nicholas Reardon rescuing the young lady in pink from Micaiah Bryant. Columbus, Ohio PD had no problem. That video was out within hours because it explained better than any press conference could have done the the good shoot that it was, the absolute good shoot. And in that video, as I posted, you could see Raridan's decision-making process. You could see it, literally see it in his actions. And that's the difference between that video, that incident, and this one. This one, now we have to do all these gymnastics of trying to rationalize and justify how the officer was okay in shooting this kid when he shouldn't have shot him. Just shouldn't have shot him. He's shooting this kid because the kid is getting away from him. That's why he shot the kid. You can say whatever you want. I'm not going to agree with you because this kid is not a threat. He has no weapon on him to be a threat. His looking at the officer and reaching for his pants is not a credible threat. That's a rationalization. That's a justification. That's an excuse. That's not a credible threat. And if we want to reestablish trust, if we want to restore public trust, we have to get back to understanding what a credible threat is, because now we believe that this is a credible threat. A person looking at us and grabbing their pants is a credible threat for us to use lethal force against them. We are not taking into account good decision-making principles. All right. Now I need to run the rest of this. It's the same. Just talking about this from our training standpoint, people, is, think about the first part of it where they're trying to get him into custody. If he's cooperating, get him into custody, get cuffs on him. People are so much less likely to be resistive, try to run, fight, whatever, when they're wearing handcuffs. All right. But the longer we leave them out of cuffs, the more things we make them do, the more likely they are to take off running. And that's one of the things that I always used to say is, if somebody's coming to me, I'm getting cuffs on them. I'm going to cuff, then search them. And it cracks me up and it bewilders me when I watch people train people cuff, then search, or search, then cuff. It doesn't make any sense. Why do I want to search somebody who might have a gun on them when they're unrestrained? Because as I go to reach for that gun, they're going to know I'm about to get that gun. And so they know that this is the last chance that they have to keep me from getting that gun. I want to get those cuffs on them, bam, bam. And then now they're cuffed. Now I'll start searching for them. I never understood, if I'm going to arrest somebody, I'm going to cuff them, then search them. If I'm not going to arrest them, I'm not searching them. I don't want to mess around and find a gun on you if I'm just going to talk to you for a minute and then let you be on your way. If I'm going to arrest you, then we're back to cuffing and searching. Okay. So, and then I know that if I haven't searched you and I'm talking to you and things start to get a little heated and you start reaching in your pocket for something, that tells me that now I need to be thinking about something. But we are getting away from the credible threat, and we need to go back to that. Okay. So hopefully this gave you a little bit of understanding stuff. If you disagree, that's fine. You can disagree. But I'm telling you that the decision-making needs to be based on solid principles. It can't be based on conjecture. It can't be based on justification, rationalization, excuses, all that kind of stuff. It just can't be based on that. It's got to be based on sound principles, or we're going to be doing things like this. Shooting at a 16-year-old, 17-year-old with a daycare as our backdrop, because we don't care about the daycare. He obviously doesn't care about the daycare. Otherwise, he wouldn't take the shot. He would be like, you know what? Even if the kid's got a gun and he's going to turn and shoot at me, I can't shoot because I'm going to shoot at a daycare. New York, about 15 years ago, had that situation. A trooper went to pull over a guy. He got out and started talking to the guy. The guy pulled the gun on the trooper and shot at him. The trooper got hit, but his backdrop was a school. And he didn't take a shot. And that's what he said afterwards. He said, I couldn't shoot because there was a school behind me. And I knew if I missed, he's accountable for all of his rounds. So we have to be thinking about that kind of stuff. All right. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the training table.